Hey, what's up? It's a Figure Hunter, and today we're going to do a simple side-by-side comparison of the new Fenix 7 and the Epix watch when looking at just the stock watch faces. I've seen a number of questions come through on the channel as well as on different Garmin forums for what are the actual stock watch faces that are coming on the new Fenix 7 and the new Epix. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing for more. There's a lot of testing that's going on with both these watches, full review for each of them separately, as well as full heart rate analysis when looking at the new Garmin Elevate 4.0, which is on both the watches when compared to the Apple Watch. Also going to do a specific side-by-side video of the 7 versus the 6, just looking at size, spec, and details. So with that, let's dive in, let's take a look, and then we'll come back together. All right, so here you have it, all three watches. So if you looked at the original 6 and you can see the watch faces that come with it, this is the quintessential Garmin Fenix watch face. It's got all the data customization around the side and the big bold time in the middle, and we'll look at it in a second to compare it to the new watch faces. So this is the watch faces you get the standard. You can see that this one has the training load as well as VO2 max. You get baseline there, and then this is just all the other features. Now there were a lot that I deleted off here that I'm not going to re-add for the purpose of this video. So next up, we want to see what watch faces now come on the Fenix 7. So the first of which is going to be the standard watch face. That's not it, but this is one of the options. It's not standard, or at least it's not one that I would want to see very often. Then you got this color, the outside is the actual sunset sunrise. Then you got a regular hands-on, and we'll go through these a little bit more slowly. So this is cool. This is a little bit of the blend of the old Fenix style where you have, different data points around the side, but you have a bigger digital clock in the middle, and you got the solar power because this is the solar one. We're not going to apply that. And there's a digital version of it, or I'm sorry, an analog version of it. And then this is the new version, in my opinion, as it compares to the old sort of quintessential Fenix watch face. The new version that has all the same data features, but also includes the recovery time and has a little bit more straightforward and a little bit more bold watch face in the middle. And then you have an analog version of it, and then just a couple of other sort of sideline options. And then the Fenix 7 does also still come with the classic watch face. As you can see it there, compares directly head to head, and another analog, and then this one is sort of the boring one that used to come with it, but this still actually functionally works really well. This is another one of the boring ones. These are the ones that I deleted off there. Super boring one, even more boring. And then this is the new watch face that you'll see on both the Fenix 7, and we'll see it again on the Epix. It gives you a bunch of different fields. You have temperature, you have sunset, sunrise, you have your recovery and your VO2 max and your date built into it. So those are the watches. We'll go through it really quickly to see what some of the newer ones are. This is a newer watch. Obviously, it's got the time and some data areas you can customize around it. It's got the sunset sunrise around the edge with the large digital in the middle. You have the same with the large analog in the middle. This is sort of a quasi old school, but slightly different. Digital in the middle and lesser customization fields around the edges, and then the analog version. And then this is the new, in my opinion, the new sort of premier Fenix watch face. It is big and easy to read, has your training load specifics around it, as well as all the same number of data fields around the edges. And then these are all new, but somewhat simplified. The original classic, and then this is one of the many faces that were on the original Garmin. This wasn't on the original Garmin. This is on the original Garmin. This is on the original Garmin. This was as well, and then this is a new version. I swear this one just popped up more recently with the update to 7.0. So now we're going to look at the Epix. And the Epix doesn't have the same laundry list because it's just missing one in particular. So this is one of the premier Epix watch faces. This is only available on the Epix. You can change the color scheme, you can change some of the data fields, and it obviously does a lot to shine the AMOLED display. This is another Epix specific, so a little bit more sort of hidden, or I wouldn't say hidden, maybe is the right word, but obviously the red doesn't stand out as much, but you can change the customization of the colors. Another Epix specific one, you have the battery. You can change only a few fields on the right or on the left, But what's interesting is that this specifically shows the body battery, which is a unique new data option. Here's the same one that we saw previously, except for it has the heart rate graph on the bottom and doesn't have the solar, but the sunrise, sunset at the top and the time in the middle and an analog version of it. Here is that sort of in between where you have the digital clock, so that's the same as the 7, and the analog version the same as the 7. And then this is that sort of quintessential new Fenix 7, new Fenix sort of watch face that is included on it. And the analog version, a couple of simple watch faces. These are going to look better and feel better on the Epix with the big, bright, beautiful AMOLED screen. And then this is that new version. And if you were to look at the two, if you were to compare it, you know, even with the backlight on, this, because the transflective screen is still a little bit more washed out, it doesn't appear as great because the smaller digits, smaller data actually aren't as legible as on the Fenix. And I think that's the last we're going to look at. So there's just a repeat of the same one. And I think I go into the custom ones. But if you were asking me between these two, what is the watch face that I think makes the most sense for the screen technology, I think this is probably the best for the Epix in my opinion, because you can jump into your VO2 max or jump into your training load, you can jump into the weather, jump into the sunrise, sunset. That's one of the coolest features about these. You can just hold a part of it and there's the sunrise, sunset. You can hold the temperature icon, it jumps right into the weather. You can hold the training icon, it jumps into the training status. And that's about it from what you can jump into. And it just doesn't look as good on the Fenix 7. The transflective display just doesn't show as well. So if I was, you know, gonna pick one, I think this is the primary layout that I would choose on the new Fenix 7. So again, you can jump into any of these pieces just like that. And you can jump into even altitude because it has more fields, but it's really cool how you can jump into certain areas of data. And you can customize any of these things. I don't know if they've added the body battery data to one of these fields, but that's something I would like to see. And you know, these are what I think makes the best use of the display. Now, obviously, if you're an analog type of person, then the new really brilliant analog face on the Epix stands out really incredibly well. You can just see the screen quality differences, and this is super brilliant. This is on full max 100% brightness and full brightness over here. When it goes to the screen dim, looks really cool. And you can change the data fields there as well. But those are the new screens as listed on the Fenix 7 as well as the Epix. You can see that in that list of Epix watches, we didn't get that quintessential Fenix watch face, you know, the old school one that we can see over there. We just have all the new variants, and then obviously Epix has its own version. But super, super cool looking when it comes to the Epix with the AMOLED screen. Huge, huge difference in the overall quality of the experience and the legibility of information because of the higher resolution and brighter screen. Let's talk about it in summary. So there you have it. Basically, you're going to get a whole slew of new watch face options, new watch face features, and obviously the capabilities on the watch face customizations on the data fields to be able to jump into specifics. So lots more to come on testing of both of these watches. So please stay tuned for more. It's the Fake Gear Hunter. Thanks so much for watching.